Welcome to another live video. In this video, we're going to go really deep on how to never run out of things to say. If you experience this, whether it's in, a social interaction with someone you don't know, or at work, or even someone you know, and there's that moment where you just freeze and it's awkward and you're like, oh, I ran out of things to say. What's the appropriate thing to say? What are they thinking of me? And you just start freaking out and you spiral down and just clam up even more. Then this live video is for you. How to never run out of things to say. We're gonna go deep. If you'd like to know how deep, if you've been following these live streams, the answer is this deep. Okay, that's how deep we're going down the rabbit hole on how to never run out of things to say. And fingers crossed here that we don't encounter any technical difficulties or glitches. There's been a stream or two that unfortunately didn't make it to YouTube. Due to that, we lost some epic segments, I must say. Two of my favorite segments that we previously discussed were the whale moaning room in Clubhouse segment, and of course the ASMR, that segment that we also lost. So we'll see if we can maybe sprinkle those back in this live or in a future live, or perhaps even come up with a better segment. But more importantly, welcome. Okay, yes, this is live. Someone's like, cow deep. Yes, if you've been following, we're going cow deep. That's how deep we're going. Hi, Julian. Why, hello, hello, hello. Someone's like, legend. Yes, legend. How to get out of head. I'm assuming you mean how to get out of your own head, how to not be stifled, how to not run out of things to say. Well, guess what? That's what this live video is about. Okay, this is something that I personally struggled with for a long time, for most of my life, to be honest. I used to be extremely shy, stifled, and I would freeze like no other, right? I'd run out of things to say talking to family members. I'm like, what do I say now? What are they thinking of me? Oh, is it awkward? Oh, it would just be terrible. Okay, so how to never run out of things to say. And we're going to go very practical here, but in order for us to go practical, we must establish the foundation. And the foundation, and this is one of the big reasons I never run out of things to say anymore, or very rarely, let's just say, is that I understand the different layers of communication. Okay, so we're going to start with that. And once more, yes, this is live. Someone's like, how do I flow? You mean, how do you Julien it? If you mean flow, how do you Julien it? How am I doing it right now? We're going to cover it. That's what this live video is about. So you're also in the right place, right? If the comments here is a challenge of how can I say the title using different words, right? How to never run out of things to say. How do I flow? How to get out of head? You in the comments are crushing. What if you don't even want to talk? Well, then that's a very different problem. However, I will say that it's very common that laziness can be a more advanced form of fear. Let that land. If you're scared, you're like, oh, I'm scared to talk. It can transmute into, you know what, I don't even want to talk. I'm not going to talk anyway, right? Oh, I want to say hi to that person. I'm so scared. Oh, you know what? I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. And yes, at times, it's true. You might not want to, but more often than not, from what I've seen in clients, it tends to be fear underneath it all. Okay, so let's start here. The 4 layers of communication. You gotta get this, okay? This is the first step to never running out of things to say again. So, there are 4 layers of communication. The first is what you say. And this is the one that everyone obsesses about, right? The words that you use. It's like, well, if I want to be interesting, what are some words that will make me interesting, right? Do you have any lines? Oh, that's a good line. Oh, did I watch that movie and the character said that? That's a great line. I'm going to use that, right? And people are obsessed with this. Even in terms of conversations, they're like, well, how do you change the topic if it doesn't logically make sense, right? Like, how do you do that? Because they're only focused on the first layer, which is what you say. Now, if you go deeper, there's a second layer. Beneath what you say is how you say it. And what you're going to realize here is that the deeper you go, the more powerful that channel of communication, right? The layer of communication, if you will. So what you say The actual words, in reality, is the least important. As you go deeper, how you say it is much more important. And this means the way you subcommunicate, right? Your tonality. For example, hey, I'm Julien. Voice going up at the end, right? Trying for rapport tonality. This is the people pleaser tonality, right? Hey, oh really? Oh, that's awesome. How's your day going? Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, you like that? Oh, you're trying to not run out of things to say? Oh, wait, there's layers of communication? Right? Trying for rapport. You could say the same thing, breaking rapport. Okay? TRBR. And it's very different, right? Oh, awesome. Hey, I'm Julien. Nice to meet you. I'm Julien. Nice to meet you. I'm Julien. Nice to meet you. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, that's cool, right? How to never run out of things to say? Oh, there's different layers of communication? Same words, but it's very different in terms of how you say those words. So just being aware of these two layers, and this is what the majority of people are aware of. They only know of the two layers, what you say, how you say it, but being much more focused on how you say what you say will help tremendously alleviate all that pressure in terms of what you say, right? Running out of things to say. This tends to happen when you're way too myopic and only focused on the surface layer. Bringing it and being more concerned with how you say it will free up a lot of that stress and overanalyzing and overthinking, okay? But it doesn't stop there. There's then a third layer, and this layer here is your intention behind it. What you say, how you say it, and then there's your intention behind it, okay? And for example, this could mean offering value, taking value, right? If we just look at the surface layer, you would say that asking a question is taking value, making a statement is offering value. But that's only if you're aware of the first layer. You can actually offer value by asking a question. If this confuses you, you're like, wait, what do you mean offer value by asking a question, by asking for a response? What? That's taking value. Only if you're just focused on layer number one. Here's the difference, okay? Asking a question, taking value. Excuse me, where's the church? Where's the church? You just sense the need, right? Where's the church? Give me, from you to me. Taking value. Here's a question offering value. Excuse me, where's the church? Notice, it's still a question, but the intention is I'm offering good vibes, offering value. Where's the church? Excuse me, what's your name? Hey, what's your name? Very different. That layer is much more powerful. What you say, how you say it, your intention behind it, and then the fourth layer that's even more powerful is your level of self-esteem, your self-worth. Okay, people just feel that. It's like this invisible aura. It's like, ooh, high self-worth, high self-esteem, and they get drawn into that. Those are the four layers of communication. And someone who is extremely good socially, when it comes to social skills, is aware of all four of them and is operating on all four layers. Meaning they're aware of what they're saying, and obviously what you say has to make sense, but it's not the most important one. They're aware of how they're saying it, the tonality. This also means, by the way, facial expressions, right? If you want to test this and kind of work on like expanding your range of expressiveness, go in front of the mirror and practice different facial expressions. Practice different tonalities. Practice being loud, being quiet, right? Add some range to what you're saying versus the robot mode, right? Hello, nice to meet you. I am robot and I have no personality, no range of expressiveness. Amplify that. So you're operating on what you say, how you say it, that's optimized. You're very aware of the intentions behind it. This is also where you set a lot of frames in an interaction, right? Your reality, your rules. If you have a very strong reality, a strong frame, that will be communicated in that intention layer. And if you want to tap into this, because this is pre-verbal, imagine right now, you can't talk, you can't make any facial expressions, right? No words, no subcommunications. You can't move, you're just standing still. And imagine you had to communicate to someone that you're very upset, but you can't frown, you can't move at all. Communicate you're upset. You're gonna tap into this pre-verbal channel of communication. Okay, that's the intention. and then of course, someone's level of self-esteem. Okay, and that's of course fixed and you could say brought back up to where it should be through letting go. These are the 4 layers of communication, okay? Aware of them all the time. That's what makes you good socially. But understanding this too takes off so much pressure in terms of what you say. And then you kind of realize like all these concerns, like what do I say? What if I run out of things to say? Wait, what? If that's your biggest problem, it's because you're putting too much importance on layer number 1, what you say. Okay, this here is the foundation and what you must really let land in order to free yourself from always running out of things to say. Okay, and once more, the most powerful layer is the self-esteem layer. And this is brought up, right? How do I raise my self-esteem? It's done through letting go. If you'd like help with this, you know where you can go? Right here. JulienMentoring.com, and you can book a free call with someone from my team, with one of my coaches, and they will help you gain a lot more clarity on what letting go actually is, how to let go. They'll go over your situation and come up with a game plan for you, as well as give you a free letting go guided meditation from yours truly. Okay, so if you're watching this, you're like, it all makes sense, but wait, what's this self-esteem letting go? How do I let go? Julien Mentoring. Go get the free meditation, get a free call. No excuse not to do this. Now I'm scrolling through the comments here. Someone's like, information overload. Nice to meet you. I am Robot. Yes. For some reason, whenever I take a robot sound, I sound like a Finnish person. And I actually have done a DNA test. I'm a little bit Finnish myself. I'm 6% Finnish, I believe. So I sound like a Finnish person, right? I sound like my 6% self. How does a Finnish person sound? Speak in English? Just like that. I am from Finland and Nokia, yes, hello. So that's me. What else we got here? When are you making a tour to St. Louis? Most likely never. I've been to Chicago a few times, so that's probably where you'll want to go. But no, I do a lot of Europe, and if I do American tours, it'll be bigger cities, LA, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, sometimes Miami as well. Those are the tour cities in America. Someone's like, recap, what about the 4 tones? Rewatch the video. Rewatch it when it's done. Julien, hello. Why, hello there. Danke, Julien. You're welcome. Okay, let's keep going deep here. Again, we're going this deep. Right now, we're inching our way there. Okay, so we covered the 4 layers. And as I mentioned, if your big problem is running out of things to say, it's because you're way too concerned with layer number 1. Instead, be more concerned with the other layers. Okay? It can also be very helpful, by the way, to really let this land, to reflect on, just as a human, how we take in information when meeting someone new. Right? Say right now, as an example, you were to hire someone, and you were to hire someone who was going to take care of and manage a lot in your life. Meaning, if they mess up, your life quality or life situation could really, really go down the drain. Okay? Say you're in that situation and you have to hire someone. And people send you in, their resumes, and you have all these resumes you're reading through. Question for you. Are you going to hire someone just based upon what you read in their resume? And you'd be like, you know what, this resume looks good, done. The answer is, of course not. You want to know why? Because there's not enough data there, right? That's the same as the words. Oh, let me get to know this person. Let me only focus on the words. Not enough data. Sure, it has to make sense, right? The resume has to pass certain, you could say, standards. But beyond that, you really get to know someone by what's underneath the words. You can think of the words as simply the vehicle that allows someone to experience you. So if you're to hire someone, you're not going to do it off the words. You're going to do it based upon seeing them in front of you and getting a feel for them, because you want to see all those other layers. You want a much bigger sample, you could say, of data to then make a decision, right? Because you could look at the words and then you meet the person, you're like, ooh, something's really off there. Done. Okay, so remember that. If you're too concerned with what you say, It's because you think someone's just going to look at the surface level resume. They're aware of that, but they're much more attuned to, is this person congruent, right? Oh, are they offering value? What's the general feel I have off of them? Where's their level of self-esteem? Are they in integrity? All that is communicated in those deeper layers. And it's okay to mess up the surface one as long as the other ones are on point, okay? Example, and this is one that really hammered it home for me. This is way back in the day. If I'm, say, talking to someone and we're just kind of joking around, you know, say you're with some friends and you kind of playfully tease each other, right? Or say I'm meeting someone new and you're just kind of joking around. One of my comebacks to any playful tease, or say someone's like, oh, I can't believe you said that, right? Oh, I can't believe that, like a playful tease. I can't believe you just said that. People will say, oh, what's the most amazing response? And my response would simply be, I can't believe it's not butter. Now, logically, maybe you're laughing at this, but it's logically not the funniest comeback, right? And I would even change it sometimes to, oh, I can't believe it's not air, or make something up. Doesn't even have to be butter. But the content doesn't matter. What matters is my timing and that tonality when I say it. I can't believe you said that. I can't believe it's not air. People will laugh, even though it doesn't really make sense, because they're much more focused on timing, subcommunications, intention. Does the person react? Are they thrown off? That's much more important than having the logical word for word comeback. Okay, so let that land as well. And even beyond that too, how do you build or create comfort with someone, right? We think, well, it's then asking them for a lot of information and talking really deep logically. No. If you think that, it's because you're too focused on layer number one. Comfort is built through togetherness, meaning the more topics you go through, the more environments you go through, and the more emotions you go through together, right? Where, let's just say, this is an example I gave for years, I take you and I put you with a stranger on a deserted island. And I'm like, you have one day to go from this side of the island to the other side of the island and survive. And the one condition is you're not allowed to talk to each other at all. Now guess what? At the end of that day, you know, you're hiking these cliffs and canyons and stuff and mountains and waterfalls and like any kind of thing. You know, you're just doing all this crazy stuff, helping each other, risking your lives for each other. At the end of that day, when you're on the other side of the island, even though you don't know the other person's name, you know nothing about them logically, there's going to be a lot of comfort there because you've gone through a lot together. That's comfort, going through a lot. And pre-verbal information is more valuable than verbal information. Okay? Now, let's take it even further. Say you're aware of that. You're like, you know what? I get it, right? Layer number one is not that important. I'm going to not worry so much about what I say. That already takes some pressure off where you're going to run out less in terms of what to say. But you might still run out of things to say. You might run out of things to say, be like, what? Okay. Now, in that moment, understanding this, that the lower, you could say the deeper layers are more important, what's more important is not letting the running out of things to say screw you up inside, ruin your vibe, kill your mood, right? If you're in a nice social mood and suddenly you freeze, what people do is they're like, oh my God, I ran out of things to say. They freak out about it. And then that makes them feel worse. And then they freak out about that. And they freak out about freaking out, about freaking out, about freaking out. And it's just this downward spiral from there. So, number one, if you run out of things to say, instead of being like, oh no, this is bad, change the label. No. This is good. This is great. And let's embrace it. You can even go back to the good old embrace, exaggerate, laugh, right? You run out of things to say, let's embrace it. Let's exaggerate it to the point where we laugh at it, right? So if you run out of things to say, you could tell the person, hey, you know what? I ran out of things to say. I should have rewatched Julien's live video. Now saying that, you embrace it, you laugh. It also creates some carefree because you're laughing at yourself and it takes the power it has over you. And what happens, it doesn't mess up the lower channels of communication because you're not thrown off. And if the data is there, that's what people are looking at. They don't really care logically if you ran out of things to say or not. They're saying, okay, how does this affect you? If you're like, oh, I ran out of things to say, that's what turns them off. So if you're like, oh yeah, ran out of things to say. You don't even have to exaggerate. You could just chill there and just stare at them. Yeah, I ran out of things to say. and just chill. Just chill and stare right at them. Hey, ran out of things to say. Now here's the other beautiful part of an interaction. It's two people or a group. Meaning, if you're just comfortable there staring, you're going to now create the space for them to say something. And this is another, you could say, problem or symptom, right? Or reason people run out of things to say is they put all the pressure on themselves. They're trying to run this one-person show. And of course, if you're going at it like that, you're going to eventually run out of things to say. It's an interaction is two people or more going back and forth. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then if you want to go even deeper, personally myself, if I run out of things to say, which rarely happens, but let's be fair, it still happens, I'm actually excited, right? Not only do I change the label to, ooh, this is good, and embrace, exaggerate, laugh, but I actually get excited. Why? Because then I can surprise myself with what I say. Meaning, run out of things to say, all you have to do, no joke, instead of freaking out like, oh my God, all you have to do is move your lips and make some sound, and a word will come out. It might even make no sense. It might be like, blub, blub. That's what you said. And then the person can be like, wait, what? And now you can play off that. I love it. For me, it's like, let myself be surprised. Move your lips, make some sounds, blah, blah, blah. Right? And then, oh, what? Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I say it sometimes. Just roll with the punches. I love it. Right? So view it as something exciting. Oh, ran out of things to say. Let's see what my mouth comes up with. You can even, on the embrace, exaggerate, laugh, mixing it with this idea, you can take it further and just babble something completely random, right? You run out of things to say, you can be like, Star Wars. Everyone's like, wait, what? Star Wars? And now you're like, oh, yep. And you got to roll with the Star Wars theme of a conversation now. But notice how, because now you're laughing and you take it less seriously, the deeper layers of communication are still strong and things will flow. Okay? So, we're going to go deeper, don't worry. I'm just scrolling through some of the comments here. Let's see here. Someone's like, yo, who's funny to watch for stand-up comedy? You know what? We talked about this on a previous live, but one comic I forgot to mention, who's amazing live, is Harland Williams. For real. Blows my mind. I've seen him do some of the craziest live stand-up, but I've also seen him do some really bad live stand-up. I've seen both, but he is one of my favorite to go see lives. Harland Williams. Let's see. You shouldn't care what you say, you should just say it. Well, yes, you should still be aware of it, right? It has to make sense. You're gonna be like, I'm just gonna say whatever. No, you still have to be socially aware, but detach the importance in terms of what you say. Okay. Have you ever been to the Netherlands? Yes, I've done many, many events in Amsterdam, and I've also done events in Rotterdam. Someone's like, time to go even deep, cow deep. I know, we're getting cow deep. We're getting there. Sounds like I personally love Jimmy Carr. Nice. Yeah, not too familiar with his stand-up, but I know a lot of people who really, really love him. Let's see here. How to stop worrying about interruption, being interrupted. So what if you're interrupted? It's fine. Again, a conversation isn't this like, we are robots now, my turn to speak. It's not like a Zoom call. Mute, unmute, your turn. Unmute, mute, right? No, a conversation, of course, at times you're going to be interrupted and you're going to interrupt others, and it's a group effort, right? People are building it together. It's not just you. It's not like, now is my turn to speak. It's fine. Don't take it so personally. If you get interrupted, that's part of a conversation. Totally fine. What it also means, though, is if you're really attached to what you're saying, again, if you get interrupted, you might be like, but I must finish my point for it to have value, without realizing that, sure, you can, but the value is in those deeper channels of communication. It's not in what you say. No one's going to be like, unless it, sometimes, yes, if it's like a very logical conversation, they might be like, we'll bring it back to that point. But otherwise, if you bring it back to it, sometimes you'll just kill the vibe. Like if everyone's joking and you're like, hey, so I know we kind of veered off, but just to finish my point, vibe will die. So be aware of that. Okay. So that's the next thing to get. Okay. Now, I want to go deeper and really talk about this fourth layer, because this is the big one. Okay, your level of self-esteem. This also dictates your ceilings of success. And ultimately, this is what's at the cause of you running out of things to say. Okay, so we're going progressively deeper. You must understand the different layers of communication. Take the pressure off what you say. Realize that the words are simply the vehicle for someone to experience you. Those pre-verbal layers are much more important. In terms of dealing with running out of things to say, make sure those deeper layers stay strong, stay intact. And going even deeper, once more, the way to really never run out of things to say is to let go of your ceiling of success. This is when you get stifled. This is key. We all have it. A ceiling where we believe that if we go above this ceiling, or say interact with someone we believe is above this ceiling, we freeze. This is why if you talk to someone you believe you're in the same league or you're even outside their league, you really don't run out of things to say. All right, you can just flow. Same with like close friends. You're like, hey, we're kind of at the same level, you and me. You don't run out of things to say. But you do as soon as you speak to someone you believe is above you. You're like, oh, their self-esteem, their status is higher than me. And then you freeze. And what people do is they then try to fight that. That's self-sabotage, right? Outside your ceiling of success, you freeze. And you can ask yourself here, right? If you talk to this person, do you freeze? No, this person. At what point does it shift to you being stifled? And then it's not about fighting that, like, okay, I'm stifled. Oh, let's fight the self-sabotage. It's asking yourself, where does this come from? Why am I stifled? Getting to the cause and letting go of it. And that's why I keep saying letting go is really the key. Because when you let go, that ceiling of success dissipates and you just don't get stifled, no matter who you talk to. Okay? So that is the way. Let's see here. Someone's like, true. Yes. Brilliant. Yes. Yes. True and brilliant. I know. Let's see here. Someone's like, talk about your passions. Yeah, you can do that too, right? You could also have some go-tos, right? Like I've had some go-tos, to be honest, in the past where when I would run out of things to say, I would either blurt out something crazy, right? Like Star Wars or something completely random. I would either say, oh, I ran out of things to say. I'd either move my mouth and make a sound and be surprised, or I'd sometimes have some go-tos, which is, say I'm meeting someone new, I'd be like, why do you like me so much, right? Or why am I so awesome? Something totally random like that, and I would just laugh at it, and once more, the lower channels of communication are intact. Okay, but never forget that. Surface level is great, right? Be aware of it, but the value is the deeper you go. That's really what you got to train yourself to be aware of. This whole invisible, you could say, playing field of social dynamics, right? The same as in an interaction. People are like, okay, he said this and they said that and she said that and this person said this and this said that and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, great. Going deeper, who was at the cause? Who was more grounded? Who was reacting more to the other person? Who was chasing the other person? Who needed more from the other person than that person needed from them? That's much more important. That's much more valuable, right? Who was more in their frame? Whose frame was dominating? Whose reality was dominating? Who had a heightened response to that person or what was being said? Who was dictating the flow and rhythm of the conversation? All those dynamics, those pre-verbal, invisible dynamics, that's the gold. Okay? So don't worry so much. Oh, what do I say? What if I run out of things to say? Preserve the deeper channels of communication. This is the way. Why can't you just talk about vegetables and penguins and be funny? You can. You can. If you genuinely find that funny, people will too. It's not the content that makes them laugh. It's how you feel. The law of state transference. If you find it funny, like, hey, penguins and vegetables, ha ha ha, that ha 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 will transfer onto them. Okay. Someone's like, telepathy, does it exist? I don't know. But things close to telepathy, you could say does, right? Like the whole intention layer, that's very, you could say, Jedi mind trick, right? Like, these are not the droids you're looking for. You could go up to someone and be like, the intention is, I am awesome. Hey, how's it going? And the whole time it's in that pre-verbal, I am awesome, I am awesome, I am awesome. Oh, really? Nice. I am awesome. I am awesome. I am awesome. Again, that's where a lot of the frames take place, right, and are established in an interaction. But people don't know this. They're like, the frame is established with the words you say. You must say that. No, no, no. The same with how a conversation goes, right? People are like, every topic must logically lead to the next topic. No, it's fine. You could be ADD as long as there is a flow in the deeper layers. Okay, and once more, the 4 layers are what you say, how you say it, your intention behind it, and your level of self-esteem. Let's see. Someone's like, hi, Papi Julien. Well, hello. Do you have some good source to learn from for being more humor? Yes, watch a previous live video that I did here on this channel called How to Be More Charismatic. And you see a whole section. I talk about the 3 inner buttons that one must push, and one of them is fun. Okay, fun, carefree, passion. But, and this would actually be another thing to add on, because you get this, and then the question might be like, okay, well, how do you become familiar with the lower, deeper layers of communication, and how are you able to be aware of them at all times, right? And this comes down to, as I said, letting go, but more importantly, by letting go, you free up a lot of mental bandwidth, right? Where people, for example, are, half concerned with, okay, what am I saying? What am I saying? But then they're using all this mental bandwidth on, oh, what are people thinking of me? Is it good enough? And all these worries. Are they seen through the front that I put up? Am I cool? What if this happens and then this happens? Like, there's all that going on in the background, right? Or if they're stifled, they're now using all this mental bandwidth and even energy to fight against being stifled, right? Or this discipline and willpower to fight against being stifled. That's not smart, right? If your mental capital and energy capital is spent fighting against self-sabotage or overanalyzing and worrying, you're not going to have enough to be aware of all these channels of communication. So to be aware of them, of course, it requires some practice. You got to get some references, but also letting go of all that self-sabotage, letting go of being stifled, letting go of that constant worry, overanalysis, so on and so forth, so you can really have all your faculties dedicated to the interaction at hand. That is how you become a social master, a social genius, and ultimately how you never run out of things to say. Let's see here. But the Titanic movie teaches us to never let go. That'd be I like that comment. I like it. Can you imagine? It's like, and the way is letting go. Julien, what about the Titanic? Sounds like it's extremely important. Yes, yes, it is. Thanks for the advice. You're welcome. You're welcome. What about imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome really happens when you portray yourself as being someone that you're not, right? You're trying to be like, oh, I feel like an imposter. What if they see the real me? There's a lot of fear, and for that, it's letting go of the front and ultimately cultivating core confidence, right? You're not only acceptable when you're just being this front, you're acceptable when you're being everything that is you, okay? So like, can you feel my energy, Julien? No, I can't. But do you want to know the place where I will feel your energy? JulienMentoring.com. Okay, if you just joined, go to this link here. You can also click the link below this video and apply for a free coaching call. Okay, we brought back the free coaching calls. On this call, it's one-on-one. Okay, it's extremely personalized and it's free. You'll gain a lot of clarity around your current situation and sticking points and blind spots. Blind spots are the enemy, as well as receive a free letting go meditation. So even in this live, if you're like, oh, that sounds great, but how do I let go? Go get the feedback, go get the meditation, and book the free call. Okay, JulienMentoring.com, or click the link below this video. And if you're the person who commented, can you feel my energy? I will feel it on the calls. Okay, I personally read through all the applications myself, by the way. In the past, I would do this free event on Thursday called the Free Tour. Can't travel now, but there's the free call. Okay, so go there now while it's hot on your mind and book your free call, get clarity, get a game plan, get a free meditation, do it. That actually made me think of, do you ever see, this is an old movie, might have come out, I don't know, forget when. It was a Ben Stiller movie, Starsky and Hutch, right? Starsky and Hutch, I think, Hutch. It was like a remake or something, and there's a scene where he's like, Ben Stiller's just like, just do it, right? That'd be my pitch. You see this? It's a free call. Do it. It's free. Do it. Get your meditation. Do it. Someone's like, Julian, what's your Myers-Briggs personality? INTJ. Yes, INTJ. Montas is it live? Yes, it's live. So do it. Do it. Get your free meditation. Get a lot of clarity. Make it happen. Do it. Just do it. It's like the worst. Just do it. It's like, why? Just do it. Just do it. Don't think. Just do it. Just do it. All right, but no, for real. Julian Mentoring, get on that now while it's still there, or click the link below this live video, book your free coaching call. You're insane if you're trying to figure everything out on your own, especially since this call is free and you get a letting go meditation, so do it. Okay. Someone's like, you're not funny. But do it. Well, that hurt. Let's see here. Someone's like, the best. Actually, I think you're INFJ. I know, right? When I tell people INTJ, they're baffled, right? Now, to be clear, I've done a lot of work on myself, right? I've been working on myself since 2006. That's when I found out about self-help, this whole world. And originally, like, my core type is INTJ. Extremely analytical, right? That's me. I was analyzing all the time. Also extremely introverted. By default, I'm introverted. People are like, wait, what? You know, I'm very introverted, but I've done a ton of work, right? And I also believe that although you could say yes, right, if you do these personality tests, are there some traits that will just, you know, be you no matter what? You could say, yeah, there's some that'll just stay there and that's fine. But I never use these personality types to confine myself. And that's unfortunately what people do, right? They might do the INTJ test and they're like, well, I guess I'm INTJ. And then they're like, well, what are some good life choices and action steps to take for an INTJ? And they just reinforce that they're an INTJ, right? That'd be like me saying also like, I'm introverted, so what's some advice for an introverted? How does an introvert go about this? I never did that. I'm like, okay, maybe I have some tendencies, but I'm not going to let that confine me. I'm not going to stay trapped in this. You can be more than that. The way I love using personality tests is you do the test to show you some of the aspects of yourself you're resisting. And then you can actually use that test to shine a light on some things that must be re-owned and that you can let go of that resistance of. So don't let it define you. Don't let it confine you either. You're more than that. You don't have to only be that. Key. And again, if you don't believe me, INTJ, introverted, and look at me now. That's how. Let's see here. Someone's like, you poor souls. People are playing rock, paper, scissors in the chat. This is also one of the, you could say, sad thing of our times, right? Where if this were me back in the day on a live like this, like when I was starting out, I'd be locked in and just asking quality questions. I wouldn't be like, oh, here's a good platform to rate rock, paper, scissors. That's why a lot of people, quote unquote, fail. Right? If you ever watched the movie, was it Idiot something? Idiocracy? I'm terrible with movie names, right? Idiocracy rubbing off on me. I'm too much of an idiot for movie names. That's what the world's become, right? Like, what is Idiocracy? Yeah, the rock, paper, scissors. Let's play it in the comments. You poor, poor soul. But hey, the plus side, and if you're watching this and you resonate, you're like, yes, the world is getting dumber. People are getting dumber. One, I agree. But two, the bright side is, although it might lead us to total chaos and annihilation, the bright side is the competition is lower. The bar is so low. With everyone getting dumber and dumber and dumber, you just got to be a little bit above them and you'll be fine. You can repeat that to yourself as you cry yourself to sleep. You're like, the world's going down the drain, but at least competition is lower. Sounds like, yes, idiocracy, that's our world. I know, and it's just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. Okay, so on that note, do you want to escape idiocracy? Want to increase your IQ? JulienMentoring.com. Okay, book the free call, get feedback. If you can't book a free call, trust me, you're not going to make it very far. It's like, oh, I'm too scared for the free. If you can't do free, what can you do? Okay, book the free call, get feedback, get a game plan, take it seriously, show up with notes, right? Take notes on the call. Just because it's free, it's not like, well, let me just casually do it. Take it very, very seriously. You also get a free meditation. Go to the link, Julien Mentoring, or click below this video, fill out the application. I read through all of them myself. Apply this. Remember, 4 layers of communication. Okay, write them down. As you go deeper, as you go deeper and deeper, the more powerful the layer. Take away all that importance, and letting go is the way. Okay. It sounds like Bitcoin. I would say, well, yeah, right? Bitcoin, Cardano, but Bitcoin too. Hi, everyone. I wish you an amazing rest of your day, rest of your night. One last thing, okay? Go get your free call, but then also I'm going to leave this live posted. In the comments below, let me know your biggest takeaway. Not in the chat, in the comments below, so it stays. I'm going to read through it. Let me know your biggest takeaway from this live stream. And if you have questions or even topic requests for future live streams, make sure you also subscribe, hit the little notification bell, click on all notifications so you know next time I go live. And as always, until the next